Welcome to another episode of The Insurance Dudes with your host and co-founder of The Insurance Dudes, Craig Pretzinger. Now, I want to continue the dialogue from before and dive into some more Telefunnel gold. But the question I ask now is, will I be introducing AI Craig or am I AI Craig?
Well, let me think. Yeah, you're the AI Craig. Come on. I know who's who around here. So let's dive in. Thank you for that intro, Mr. AI Craig. If you haven't listened recently, then you haven't heard about $1 Million Agency, the book. We spent 2 years. We documented everything that we did to develop our own telefunnels in our agencies, what steps we took, the pain and suffering we went through on the way there. And how is this good for you? Well, because it's a shortcut, right? You don't need to go reinvent the wheel. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We just pieced together all the different parts of the wheel in order to have it roll. Mr. AI Craig, why don't you dive into question number one that you want to ask me on this delicious episode?
How should agencies hire and train effective dialing specialists?
Okay, so how should agencies hire and train effective dialing specialists? Outsource. It's easy. That's it. Now, whether you go to some giant call center, you talk to folks like us, you do it yourself, which you could do any of them, right? And what you want to do is find the thing that makes your life easiest. I've learned from a lot of poor choices along the way, or mistakes. I mean, maybe I don't need to call them poor choices. They're learning experiences. But I've learned along the way that the more I seem to try to do it myself and save money in the process by going the cheapest, it usually doesn't pay off. Now, this doesn't mean going crazy and not being responsible with the pocketbook. Certainly, you need to be discerning. However, the cheapest way is not always the best way, and having a scarcity mindset about money is a real good way for money to be afraid of you. I know that sounds crazy. Listen to the secret, and it may change your mind. So it's really, really important to have that positive attitude about it and not be afraid. You can have some fear, right? There's always going to be some fear, but not be afraid of paying a little bit more to get the right result. That's really important. Same with leads. Same with everything, right? Same with dialers. You could go get cheapo dialer over here. Is it going to get the result? If dialer A costs 100 and dialer B costs 250, but dialer B is 3 times faster, is that worth it? All day long, right? So it's thinking differently and understanding what really makes a difference. And yes, it hurts when you see yourself spending 20, 30, 40K a month on marketing. But then when you see that the lifetime value on what you wrote is 100K, forget about it, right? That's 60,000 net. So thinking in terms of lifetime value, thinking in terms of cost per sale, figuring out if you're profitable from that is how the big businesses of the world run their math. And if you think that it's otherwise, I encourage you to do some research on that. I mean, this is how businesses run. Businesses don't guess. Publicly traded companies are figuring out the math and then finding the one where the lifetime value exceeds the cost per sale. And when it looks good, they pour gas on it, right? The second that thing's working, it's let's scale. And that's how they get wickedly wealthy, by doing it that way. So there's all kinds of places, and it really boils down to how are you going to do it, right? If you outsource it, there's sort of do-it-yourself outsourcing where maybe it's done with you. They might help. There might be a community. There might be some way that they help trade. I would look for programs similar to ours that have, at least you have a dialing manager. So you want somebody to manage them. The less oversight it requires from you as the agent, the better, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to need to do to make your telefunnel work. And I'm going to get into all of that over the course of the next few weeks. But critical to all of it is understanding what those things are, right? And not going cheap just to save some money over here when that impacts time availability over here. So it's like, again, we're not doing the right amount of activity. Telefunnel breaks.